Hello everybody, this is Tony again with Subzoning and also with SublimationPlusLV.com. Today I'm going to make a quick video of just some of the adjustments that I make personally for whenever I do sublimation for actual photos of people and things like that. The actual photos is different than doing designs and different things like that. I know, and I have the same problem. Trust me, I have the same problem that a lot of people have when they do photos. Their skin tones always come out a reddish tone. They always come out orangish tone. The people look like they've been drinking all day. They look like they have a tan. I've heard all of the results, and I have very similar issues as well, particularly with photos. And the reason for me, the biggest thing, and I'm gonna really stress this part out, is the quality of the photo makes the biggest important part. If you have a low light a photo with low light in it, or just overall quality of the photo is not that great, it will not translate to a good quality photo to sublimate. And the same thing, like not all photos are sublimation friendly. So you have to keep that in mind. Just because you really like the photo doesn't mean it's gonna transfer well. Just because a customer really wants this photo done doesn't mean it's gonna transfer well. And you're gonna have to pick and choose your options and pick and choose your battles. Basically, is what I'm trying to get at. So, me personally, all right, just to kind of give you an example, this was something that I sublimated actually yesterday onto a metal plate. It turned out really good. This photo itself was taken literally around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, in the middle of the day, in a very bright sunny day with no clouds. And I tried to take a pretty good quality photo as best as I could. So this, I know, was something that would sublimate well. If you're taking pictures, in a dark room, or just inside of a car, or even at night or things like that, just because a photo looks good on your screen doesn't mean it will sublimate well. Dark items, dark photos, dark designs, and things like that, you cannot make them vibrant just because you want to sublimate them. It's going to be almost impossible. So, with me personally, one thing that I do is I take this image. This is in Silhouette Studio, but hopefully you could try to take the same principles of what I'm trying to say into this video and apply this to your design program. But basically, I would go to I'm trying to read it through my phone. Actually, I'm sorry, Image Effects, and then here to the right, this box will pop up. I'm gonna move it over. Now you want to click on that one to make sure your photo is highlighted. You would have to play around with these different settings, but you would have to adjust the brightness, maybe, and reduce some of the saturation and things like that. And then also, when you go to your printer, when you actually go to print it itself, let me see, I want to make sure I'm in the correct printer. I'm in my Epson 7710. You go to your more options that you want to go to your color balance screen. So you go to your color correction. You click custom, then you go to advanced. Now this is your color balance screen. One thing you could also do here is you could also adjust the brightness of your print. You could reduce the saturation and things like that. I would normally reduce the saturation a little bit for some of these picture photos, and maybe soup up a little bit on the brightness. And then, because a lot of times it likes to print so heavy on the magenta side with photos, scale down a little bit on the magenta, just a hair. And then maybe boost up, like this picture, there's a lot of blues and things like that, so I know that I could boost up the cyan just a hair as well. So I don't have a magic recipe. I don't have a magic number. Like, if you put this number here and this number there, this is something that you're gonna have to play around with. This is just advice that I have as far as what I personally do when I sublimate photos, and they work out really well. So if you go to your color balance area, you could subtract some of that magenta to reduce some of the magenta that's coming out on those skin tones, and also you could adjust the brightness, maybe soup up the brightness and things like that. And then, like I said previously, let me get out all of this. You could also adjust the actual image itself before you even send it to the printer. So you have different ways of doing that. My recommendation is definitely to use a scrap piece of polyester and definitely do your testing. Don't print out this whole large image and put it on your shirt and just say, "Oh man, I wasted." Don't waste your blanks like that. It's good to go buy scrap pieces of polyester, or just if you have just old shirts that you messed up, keep them, because you could use those as your test, and basically find your sweet spot for every photo. Every photo is going to be different because the quality of the photos are not the same. So I cannot stress how important it is that the overall quality of the photo makes a big difference on whether it's going to be able to look good after it's transferred through sublimation. Like I said, just because you like the photo doesn't mean it's going to transfer well, and just because a customer is really stressing that photo doesn't mean it's going to transfer well, and that's something that you have to explain to them. And really, if you let them know, hey, this picture looks dark, the skin tones are already a little dark on this, so it's not going to sublimate well, and just show them examples and communicate with them along the way. And I think most of these situations can be handled pretty good. So keep that in mind. Overall quality of the picture is very, very important when it comes to sublimation. Make sure you have a nice, bright, quality picture, and they should transfer pretty well with some of the minor adjustments that you make. Soup up the brightness, reduce some of the saturation, and also reduce some of the magenta and things like that in your color balance, and I think it'll definitely help out. If you have any issues, any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We're working today. It's the 4th of July, but we're working today, so put it in that work. Go Subzone Inc. and check us out at the Sublimation Zone on Facebook, the Facebook group page. And then you could also check out our online shop on Etsy, the Sublimation Plus LV, and just check out our general online store at sublimationpluslv.com. Thank you guys. Have a blessed holiday, and feel free to reach out if you have any issues. Thank you.